Archangel Michael has been trying to deliver this for 48 hours. It's urgent. Please don't ignore him again. Open this message before July 2nd. My dear child, Archangel Michael has a message for you today, so please don't skip this video. For 48 hours, the heavens have not rested. For 48 hours, Archangel Michael has stood with trembling wings, carrying a scroll etched with your name. Not a scroll of fear, not a message of doom, but a sacred whisper of God's most personal promise to you. He waited by the gates of time. He stood in the thin veil between night and dawn, hoping that your spirit would rise to receive this moment. He did not come with lightning or thunders, but with gentleness. A gentle persistence. A divine urgency. Because what he carries is not just a word, it is your life's turning point. He has knocked on your heart quietly, again and again, but now, heaven has commanded him, deliver it, even if the soul delays. Michael is not asking for your attention, he's begging for your permission. Because some blessings are too big to fit through doors that remain locked by distraction, fear, or delay. The miracle that has been circling above your name is now descending. It has waited long enough. God's calendar has flipped, and July 2nd is not a suggestion. It's the moment he carved into eternity to move you forward. To bring something to your feet that you didn't earn, but you were chosen for. And while others slept, Michael watched over your name. While others doubted, heaven still believed in you. Your name has not been forgotten in the noise of this world. Your soul has not been passed over. A divine instruction was written about you, and now the time to read it aloud has come. You are not watching this by accident. This very second, a shift is happening behind the curtain. You may not hear the trumpet, but the angels are positioning themselves. Someone who laughed at your pain is about to watch you rise. Something you thought you lost forever is about to return to your hands. And the voice of your late loved one in heaven? Yes, they were praying too. They stood beside Michael as he waited. They whispered, "Let this be the moment they hear." Heaven knows how tired you are. How many nights you questioned if anything would ever change. How many times you gave your all and watched others win. But now, God says, this is not about reward. This is about restoration. The parts of you that were stolen, buried, broken, misused, heaven is now gathering them together, weaving them into a testimony so rich, it will make others weep when they hear your name. But it begins here. It begins now. Before July 2nd ends. Before the scroll is sealed again. Archangel Michael is not standing in front of you with warning. He's kneeling in front of you with honor. Because you are God's chosen. Because even when you were silent, your heart was still crying for purpose. Because even when you were invisible, heaven was building your story. And now, God says, enough waiting. Enough shrinking. Enough second-guessing your worth. The time has come. The oil is being poured. The door is opening. And your miracle is no longer postponed, it's arriving. So if your soul feels this, if something deep inside of you knows this message was heaven sent, then don't walk away. Don't skip. Don't scroll. Just say, I receive this, with my whole heart. Because Archangel Michael is still here. Watching. Smiling. Holding the last seal, waiting for your spirit to say, yes. Heaven moves in a rhythm you cannot always see, and yet, your name was placed at the center of that rhythm before you were even born. The earth may have spun, seasons may have changed, and people may have walked in and out of your life, but this moment, right now, has remained untouched by delay. Archangel Michael has held this divine whisper close to his chest for 48 sacred hours, not because God was unsure, but because heaven was preparing the right silence, the right stillness, the right space in your spirit to receive it. And now that you're reading this, it means the atmosphere is ready. Michael has not been resting. For 2 days and nights, he circled you, watching how your heart bent but didn't break, how your spirit cried but still hoped, how you nearly gave up but held on, even if just by a thread. It was not weakness that heaven saw in you, it was evidence that you are worthy of more than just survival. And that's exactly what this message is about. Not just surviving, but stepping into the season where everything that was withheld is now being returned with glory. A financial reversal. A soul-level love. A house filled with peace. A relationship healed. And most of all, clarity. The kind of clarity that only the voice of God can give. You have been living with questions that you didn't speak out loud, haven't you? You've wondered why certain people were removed, why some doors stayed shut even after your prayers, why some blessings took so long to arrive. Michael is whispering now, nothing was denied. Everything was timed. Yes, what looked like loss was God removing the blocks to your real blessing. What felt like rejection was divine protection. What seemed delayed was being positioned for the perfect hour, and now, that hour has arrived. There is someone in heaven, you know their face, you miss their voice, and they've been with Michael during this entire waiting. They saw your quiet heartbreaks. They saw you pretending to be strong when you were drowning. And they asked heaven for one thing: please don't let my loved one miss what's coming to them. That's why this message is reaching you today. Not because of luck. Not because of coincidence. But because someone in heaven and someone on earth are both part of the same divine script, and the scene is unfolding now. Do you feel that? That gentle pressure on your chest? That soft flutter in your stomach? That sudden wave of emotion that seems to come from nowhere? That's not just you reacting. That's heaven moving. That's the vibration of Michael standing closer to you than he ever has before. That's the sound of your miracle beginning to break open in the spirit. Because God is done watching you wait. God is done watching you shrink yourself. God is done letting others think you are small. From this moment, something inside of you will rise, not in pride, but in peace. Because heaven knows who you are, and it's time the world does too. This is not a prophecy of fear, it is a promise of fulfillment. You have not missed your chance. You have not failed your purpose. You have not been forgotten. In fact, God says, you're right on time. What's being handed to you now was not meant for anyone else. It was always meant for you, this key, this clarity, this healing, this peace. But God needed to prepare your hands, soften your heart, and clear the wrong voices from your atmosphere before it could safely be delivered. And now that you're here, reading these words, Michael has finally been cleared to deliver what he's been holding in his spirit for 48 long hours. You are being released from every false identity that others placed on you. You are being released from every spirit of delay, shame, and comparison. You are being released from the silent grief that made your pillow your only friend. From this point on, you are not walking into blessings, blessings are coming to find you. You are not chasing peace, peace is chasing you. And you are not begging for clarity, clarity is being poured into your soul like rain. Let it come. Let it touch you. Let it remind you of who you really are. A divine child of promise. A vessel heaven has chosen to carry light in a dark world. A story that will inspire generations, even if you don't yet feel ready. Michael's wings are over your house tonight. And the name of the one who prayed for you from heaven is echoing softly in the background. They're smiling. They know you finally opened this. There are moments in life where heaven stops everything, just to make sure one message reaches one soul, and today, that soul is you. This moment, this second, is not empty space. It is sacred. It is wrapped in years of divine orchestration and angelic movement. Archangel Michael has spent 48 hours whispering your name across realms, fighting delays, cutting through spiritual fog, and removing the last cords of doubt that tried to silence your purpose. He is standing near now, closer than your shadow, stronger than your fears, holding a scroll written with the words, "It is finally time." The person who left this earth before you, the one who still visits you in dreams, in memories, in sudden moments where your chest tightens and your eyes blur with tears, that person has not remained silent. They have not forgotten you. Their spirit, once bound to flesh, has found its full voice, and they use that voice to speak your name to heaven. Not once. Not twice. But again and again. With urgency. With tears. With a love so strong it split open the silence of eternity. They asked one thing from the Most High, Please don't let them miss what's about to be handed to them. And heaven listened. Michael listened. And now you must listen. There is a shift in your life that is so close, it's brushing against your days like a breeze. But you've been too busy surviving to notice. Too busy wondering if things will ever truly get better. Too busy carrying the weight of disappointment, betrayal, and unanswered prayers. But God says, you made it. You endured what others couldn't. You stayed kind when cruelty surrounded you. You chose silence instead of revenge. You chose hope instead of hate. And because of that, heaven has remembered you. This isn't about luck. This isn't about effort. This is about timing. And God's timing never fails. Tonight, when the world is quiet, and no one is around to hear, something will move inside your spirit. Not loud. Not dramatic. But deep. It will feel like a gentle wave, a soft warmth in your chest, a tear you didn't expect. That will be the sign. The sign that the message has landed. That your angels have successfully delivered what they've been holding. That Michael has written your name not just in the sky, but in the season you are about to step into. The season of answered prayers. Of divine compensation. Of unexpected honor. You will not be the same person this time next month. You will not recognize the weight you once carried. Because you, child of the Most High, are entering the era of lightness. Of clarity. Of miracles. The doors that refused to open before, they will open so fast now, you'll wonder how they stayed shut for so long. The people who once ignored your worth, they'll feel the absence of your presence like a hole in their soul. And the opportunities that once passed you by, they will circle back, knocking louder this time, because heaven has made sure they don't miss you again. There's something Michael wants you to know, something he's repeating to your spirit even now: you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. In fact, the heavens have been watching you rise, step by step, with no audience, no applause, and yet, you kept walking. That kind of strength does not go unnoticed in the realm of angels. That kind of faith is what shakes the gates of divine favor wide open. And that's what is happening now. Michael is not just delivering a message. He is opening a gate. And what's behind that gate? Joy. Provision. Peace. And a reunion, both on earth and in the spirit, that will make your heart weep with holy relief. Someone who left this earth too soon has something to give you. Not a thing. Not money. But truth. The truth that was buried. The truth that was hidden behind their departure. And that truth is this: you were the one they saw as light. You were the one they trusted with their final hope. And now they want you to live fully, not halfway, not in fear, not in silence, but fully. Because your life is no longer just about you. Your life is the vessel through which their unfinished blessings will now be poured. Let that sink in. You are not just receiving your miracle, you are fulfilling theirs. And that's why Michael waited. That's why heaven delayed the message. Because you had to be ready not just to receive, but to carry. And now you are. So tonight, don't brush off the chills. Don't ignore the goosebumps. Don't dismiss the sudden waves of peace that come without reason. That is heaven speaking. That is Archangel Michael placing his hand over your life, saying, "It is done." And the one in heaven who loves you more than words will ever explain, they're watching. They're smiling. They're finally at peace, because you have opened the message that took 48 hours to break through every barrier and arrive at your feet. Now the only thing left to do is believe. Because everything changes from here. There are some moments that are not written by man, not decided by time, not planned by any earthly calendar. There are moments born in heaven, whispered into existence by angels, prayed into manifestation by spirits who left this world with love still burning in their chest. And this moment, beloved, is one of them. This moment is the moment heaven has been waiting for. And now it has found you. For 48 hours, Archangel Michael has stood between what you've been through and what's coming next. Not because you are weak, but because this next chapter of your life is too holy to be disturbed. Because when heaven moves, it does not move casually, it moves with purpose. And that purpose has your name written in golden ink across the fabric of eternity. Do you know what that means? It means you are seen. Not just seen by the world, but seen by heaven. And what heaven sees, it prepares. What heaven prepares, it protects. And what heaven protects, it never lets go. Michael says this is the hour where divine movement is closer than your breath. He says you are standing on the edge of a miracle, and it will not wait for hesitation. It will not wait for approval from people who don't understand your journey. It will not wait for you to be ready, because heaven has already declared, you are ready. And someone who loved you with a love beyond this world is watching it unfold from a place of peace. They are proud of you. They are weeping with joy. Because you didn't give up. Because you kept going, even when it made no sense. And now, what they carried in silence, you are about to walk out in fullness. Listen carefully, the money you need is already being placed in the atmosphere. The healing you asked for is already responding to your spirit. The conversation you've been avoiding, it's about to come to you without force. The confusion that clouded your sleep is about to lift. The weight that sat on your chest every morning is about to dissolve. And the fear that made you shrink in your own story is about to be cast out completely. This is not just change. This is transformation. Because you are not the same. Not after everything you've endured. Not after the nights where you cried and told no one. Not after the people who left when you needed them most. Not after the betrayals that made you question your worth. Heaven knows. Heaven heard. And heaven responded. But it didn't respond in noise, it responded in movement. In shifts. In silent alignments. In angels being sent to places you haven't even thought to look. In documents being moved, in names being written down, in doors being unlocked in rooms where your name was never supposed to be mentioned. But God, oh, God, He doesn't care about supposed to. He cares about His will. And His will is to bless you in a way that restores every broken part of you. Archangel Michael says this isn't just your moment of reward, this is your moment of return. A return to your real self. A return to joy. A return to simplicity. A return to love that doesn't manipulate. To friendships that don't compete. To peace that doesn't come with guilt. This return is not something you begged for. It's something you were destined for. And that's why, even when you tried to settle, God made you restless. Even when you tried to disappear, the heavens kept calling your name louder. Even when you stopped praying for yourself, someone who loved you from beyond kept praying for you without pause. And now, look at you. Still standing. Still hoping. Still open enough to receive. This is where it gets holy. This is where the Spirit wraps around you and says, don't look back. Because what's ahead is far too precious. Because the time you've waited is not being wasted, it's being transformed into something no human hand can ever take from you. What is coming is a divine appointment that can't be cancelled. A divine connection that can't be delayed. A divine restoration that will make you look in the mirror and finally say, I'm whole again. Do you hear that? That still, small voice? That is Michael whispering through the veil, saying, this is it. This is the turning point. And someone you once lost, a soul who once held your hand, whose laughter still echoes in your dreams, they are present. They are with you in this very hour. They are the reason your name is still being spoken in heaven. They asked for this. They believed for this. And they rejoiced when God said, yes. That's why everything feels different now. That's why your heart feels tender. Because it's being softened for what's coming. Because this blessing will not just touch your life, it will touch generations. It will rewrite stories. It will unbreak hearts. It will be the moment your future looks back on and says, that's where it all changed. So receive it. All of it. The miracle. The money. The peace. The people. The truth. The restoration. The joy. Because the one who loved you so much that they couldn't leave this world without leaving you one final message, they're watching. They're smiling. They're whispering to heaven, "Thank you for finally reaching them." And Archangel Michael, the one who stood beside them, is standing beside you now. This is not just a message. Breathe softly, beloved, for what you are about to feel is not a coincidence. It is not a random emotion floating through the air. It is a divine echo reaching for your soul because the heavens have decided, this is the moment destiny touches your name and refuses to let go. And Archangel Michael, who has watched your tears form rivers in the silence of your nights, has now stepped forward with authority. He has whispered your name in the holy courts of heaven with such power that even the winds have shifted direction. This isn't just another day. This is the day that was written about you in the books of eternity long before you were born. There are people who passed away with secrets in their hearts, truths too heavy for words, love too deep for language. And now, on this sacred day, one of those souls has been released to speak to your spirit. You may not have heard their voice with your ears, but your heart has. That strange feeling? That sudden memory? That flicker of warmth on your cheek for no reason? That was them. That was love breaking through the veil. That was their spirit traveling across realms just to remind you, you are not forgotten. You are still being watched over. You are still worthy of what they once dreamed for you.